All right, boys and girls, today we're going to do more of the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula, we did this yesterday. Go watch my other video if you need more help on it. I'm just going to do a couple examples here, and then we'll talk about kind of just a general broad brush of what's going on. Quadratic equation, the standard form is x squared plus bx plus c. Quadratic formula, that's from yesterday, x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right, so that's all from yesterday. So what we did was we figured out what a was, what b was, and c was. So a is 1, b is 2, and c is 10. And then to calculate the discriminant, we take the part that's underneath the square root. So b squared minus 4ac, we plug all that in, so I get 4, because that's what b squared is, minus 4a, which is 1, and c, which is 10. So I'm going to get negative 36. And so yesterday when we found out whether we had two solutions, one or two imaginaries based off of what the discriminant is. So if it's negative, we have two imaginary or complex solutions. All right, and to actually figure out what the solutions are, we're just going to plug this stuff into the quadratic formula. So x equals negative b, so negative 2, plus or minus the square root of what we just found at negative 36, all over 2 times 1, which is 2. Last thing, maybe simplify what negative 36 is. So negative 2 plus or minus, and then that's going to give me 6i over 2. You could put a box around that guy, or if you want to go one step further, you can do everything by 2. So negative 1 plus or minus 3i. Okay, let's do one more. Let's try number 4 maybe. One thing that I see here initially is that we could maybe divide everything by 2. So that means I'm going to have x squared plus 13x equals, plus 13 equals 6x. And then again, we can move 6x over. We got to get everything on one side. So x squared minus 6x plus 13. So a is 1, b is negative 6, and c is 13. So calculating the discriminant, we got b squared, which is 36 minus 4 times 1 times 13. Calculate all that, I get 36 minus 52, which is negative 16. So it's negative, so that means it's two imaginary numbers or solutions. And then plugging into the formula, I'm going to write up here just because we have more room. So x equals negative 6 is positive 6, plus or minus square root of negative 16, all over 2 times 1. Last thing here, break negative 16 up into positive 4i, or just 4i I should say, over 2, reduce, so 3 plus or minus 2i. I know that went quick, but really it's just a review. The last thing is the back of your notes, or back of your homework I should say, is this. Go ahead and pause it, take this all down. The reason why I want you to do all this is because on our homework tonight we can solve many of them differently. So we could solve a couple of them by graphing, we could do factoring, we could just take the square root of both sides, we could complete the square, we could do quadratic formula. You can do probably all of these on all the problems, but some of them will go a lot quicker. Now quadratic formula, I don't want to do that on every single problem because it could take forever. So let's take a look at that homework and maybe you can see what I'm talking about. If you look at like number 8, I don't want to do the quadratic formula on number 8. I can just take the square root of both sides if I'm solving for x. So I get x equals plus or minus square root of 7. Boom, done. Put a box around it. We're done. You could move 7 over, find a, find b, find c. Couldn't really complete the square there. You could graph it maybe if you move 7 over. I would just take the square root of both sides. On number 9, I don't want to do quadratic formula because a is 1, b is negative 16, and c is 64. That would take me forever. Big numbers, need a calculator, all that stuff. But what if I played the factoring game? So what times what makes 64 and adds up to negative 16? What about negative 8, negative 8? So then I got x minus 8 squared equals 0. Take the square root of both sides. I get x minus 8 equals 0. Plus or minus 0 is still 0. So the next would be 8. That's it. So yes, you could, if we look at all of them, yeah, you could maybe do quadratic formula on like number 2. But why not just add 16, take the square root, you get plus or minus 4. Okay, number 7, yeah, you can move 150 over, but maybe if you divide by 6, then take the square root, it's the easy answer. All right, good luck with this. I'll see you tomorrow.